and it's lovely to have you down in the head office. We don't normally get to see you, do we?
No, about once every 3 months, something like that. We don't come down very often.
Well, then I've considered myself very lucky to have your time. So Ange, tell me a bit about your background. Are you from the charity sector, or have you come from a completely different field?
So I've got like a sales background, so I think the first thing I started in was market research, and that was door to door. So I've done the door to door. Then after that I got recruited by other people walking the streets into energy. So I worked for Empower. Then after that I actually worked for car showrooms. So I was calling people who bought a car, just upselling and things like that. Lots of sales jobs like that. Then I got my pub licence. Got into that, really liked it, and I was a relief manager for a little while, so I took my licence to do that. Had my own pub. Then eventually, whilst I was working in a pub, I was a pub manager. I applied to come here. So I've been here 4 years now.
So what was it that particularly drew you to the role? Because you started as a fundraiser, didn't you?
My cousin already worked for us, and he was doing Dogs Trust at the time, and he really enjoyed it, and he kept talking to me, and I was like, no. And then finally we sat down one day, and I was like, right, yeah, I want to do this. So,
I mean, because you've got the previous history, you're not afraid to kind of go and talk to people, and you have the confidence to strike up conversation, and just used to being outside as well, I suppose, is quite a big feature.
I mean, being pub landlady, I talk to anybody. It doesn't put me off. I'm quite confident, but in my personal life, which is really weird, I have social anxiety. So when I'm doing this job, it's like I've got an armour on, and when I'm not doing this job, I am different. So I probably go, hi, come and talk to me, but when I'm not doing this job, I'll be like,
don't talk to me.
So I am like two different people. It's like a switch goes on.
So describe your job now in a nutshell. So you've moved on from fundraising, and you then came straight into team management.
So I was regional trainer. So I only inquired about that, didn't think for a minute I would get it. Quite a few people applied, so I was really shocked when I got it, surprised. I enjoyed doing that. And then the team manager role, I was actually training another man to be a team manager. He was fresh into the business and he couldn't do it, and I made a flippant comment one day saying I could do this better than he could. So then they were saying, well, why don't you apply? So I did, and again, I never expected to get it, but did. So.
And so how does the role differ? I mean, how do you enjoy the roles in different ways?
I like it because it's more hands-on. Yes, there's a lot of paperwork and things like that, but I actually like going out, and when you see people and you're helping them, and then you see that at the end of the day they've achieved their target, you actually feel quite proud, and you're like, I've helped them to achieve that. So I remember going out with one guy, and it was after Christmas, he'd had a while off, and he come back and he just wasn't doing well. So I went out and thought, right, I'll just go watch him, see what he's doing. And I could see he just got himself in a little bit of a slump, wasn't asking people, was a bit mardy. So I was just like, look, you've just kind of given up a little bit. I was like, right, come on, I know you can do this, you've got it in you, you've done it before. And by the time I left, he'd done 5, and then the rest of the week he hit target. So I did kind of like get a little,
100%.
You know,
like, you obviously made a massive difference to him. Do you find it's easy to motivate people, or is that quite tricky?
Some people it is. Some people are naturally a little bit, they can be a bit negative, but it's just kind of instilling in them that you can do this, you have got the ability to do it. But also some people just have a bad day, so it's trying to like just the smile, just chat to people, don't come across as pushy sales, just pick someone and talk to them. Just it might be about, like what you said to me, with shoes. So just, they're lovely shoes then. Where did you get them from? Oh wow, I love them. And then that just brings you into the conversation, and people don't feel like they're being sold to, because you've had that really nice conversation with them.
And it's probably, because you're looking at it objectively, easier to see when someone's just having a bad day, or when they may be doing something that they could improve on. So you can point that out and go, look, not every day is going to be, full of sunshine and roses. And resilience is such a primary part of the role, isn't it? You don't, you've got to know and keep getting back up and keep persevering and keep believing that it's eventually going to go your way if you follow the procedures.
Exactly. You get a lot of rejection, so it's just not to take it personal. You don't know what's happened in that person's life in the morning they might have had some bad news, but it's just accepting it and saying, okay, no worries, have a lovely day. Don't let it bring you down.
So tell me about your job, like on a daily basis. Describe a typical day.
So I usually get up at 7, get straight in the shower, and then I'm on my laptop for 7:30. So I'm filling in figures from the day before, because by the time people send you them, it's gone 8 o'clock. That's my time. So I'm on the laptop, I'm looking at emails, I'm looking at my calendar for the rest of the week, looking at the rotas, seeing where people are, seeing who I need to go see, looking at people's figures for the week, seeing who probably needs my support more than others, just looking at feedback as well from the regional trainers who's been out. So, because sometimes you're out a lot in the field, so it's difficult to catch up with things. So that's why I get up early in the morning and I do it. So then when I start at 9, I've got like a good idea. But sometimes I leave the house before 9 because I have to travel where I'm going. But yeah, so I try and get out most days, see somebody, or I might be fundraising myself. Or we do fundraiser experience days where people are coming in. So they've been through the interview stages and they're just coming to have a look to see what they think of the job. So you spend a couple of hours with them. Basically, they just try to do the job, try and stop people. We get to see how bubbly they are, their personality, and you kind of have to make a judgment. You know, could they do this? Are they resilient? But then they also get to talk to the fundraiser as well. So I think that's nice for them to have that conversation, not just with a manager, but a fundraiser as well.
Yeah, lovely. So what would you say your favourite part of the job is?
I like fundraising.
Do you?
I like the buzz of fundraising. I like the thing that we get to see lots of different things. So on a normal day to day, you might be at a co-op or a Morrison's, but I've been doing shows every week. So I don't watch Clarkson's Farm, but the man who runs it on TV was at the show this weekend, and everybody's going, oh, look, he's there. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, well, we've seen Michaela Strachan, we've seen Gabby Logan.
Strachan, yeah.
Yeah, well, not me, but our fundraisers.
I've had my picture taken with Michaela Strachan in the past.
Thank you, Michaela Strachan.
But yeah, I've been to see Crufts, I've been to see truck racing at Donington. I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, I've seen some lovely things, met some lovely people along the way. So
would you prefer to still be a fundraiser then, do you think?
In a way, it's the pressure for me of being a fundraiser because your target is new every day. So although I was okay with it, it's still the mindset or you've got a new target every day. So I like this, I have got the target, but I've also got everything else built in so I can help people. My job is very different, so now I didn't know people in head office, and every time I progressed up, I get to know a different circle of people, and that's quite nice to actually be involved more.
Do you think that that's one of the things that maybe differentiates Charity Link from other fundraising agencies in terms of the head office support?
Yeah, I think we've got this infrastructure that not other companies have, and you do have that ongoing support. When you do hear about other companies, and they often come over and talk to us, we know a lot of them, but you've not got the regional trainers, you've not got the other support that's ongoing. So yeah, I do like this, and I always say to people, it's a family, do you know, and it really is. I feel that I talk to people at work more than I talk to anybody else. So, but I feel this connection with everybody, and everybody's really friendly, and you know, Greg, my manager, I talk to him more than anybody at all. So yeah, we just have this like really nice connection and we get on really well. And
so how do you overcome your most difficult days? Is it by talking to Greg, or do you find other ways of dealing with your difficult issues, difficult days?
I think sometimes Greg will phone me in the morning. We always chat before we go to work in the morning, and he can tell straight away if I'm having a bit of a bad day, and he'll just say things to make me laugh and funny, and you can't resist it. You just smile. He has this. I got asked what I would like my branding to be, what 3 words I would want people to think of, and I couldn't think, and then Greg walked in the room and everybody smiled, and I went, that's what I want. I want everybody to smile when they say, I don't want them to think of words. I was like, every time he walked in, everybody was like, hi, he was really, really pleased to see him. So I was like, that's the reaction I want.
Oh, well, I'm sure you do get that reaction, Ange. What would you say is your overall motivation?
I think obviously you are helping people, the charity, but I like to see other people get where I was. So my motivation was when I started, I had credit cards and overdrafts and loans, And working with Charity Link for me has helped me. I don't have any of them anymore, so I say that to people, and I'm like, if you work hard with this job, if you give it your full commitment, it can get you where you want to be able to get the nice things in life that you want to do. But you're also knowing that you're going home and you're thinking, I've actually done something today, something worthwhile. And not only just work, some of the people are going through, my team are going through personal problems as well, and I'm always there for them. I give them my time. So my motto is always be the reason someone smiles today. So if you can make a difference just to one person, then I feel like I've had a good day.
Yeah, that's lovely. What 3 qualities do you think a fundraiser would need the most to be successful?
I think you do have to be a happy person. You know, you've got to be happy and positive, also confident in your own abilities. Just thinking, but you've also you've got to be flexible, I think, as well, because of where we go and the times we do. We've just been discussing that depending where you're working, it might be an early start or it might be a later start. Sometimes it's just a little bit longer or a little bit longer travel, but if you're willing to be flexible, you're going to get the outcome that you want.
Do you think that's why the more successful demographic tends to be older, because they don't necessarily have dependents that need them to be, you know, doing the school run or things like that?
I think as well they've had more life experiences, so they don't let pressure get on top of them, they don't let rejection get them down. They don't. I know, like, it's not all about money, but there may be more money motivated with mortgages and things like that. But I do think the life experiences is the one. Even like for the younger ones who do have children as well, they've got that motivation to do it. So I find like there is some young people that do really well, but I think the majority of people are older.
Yeah.
You know, that do well in this business.
So if you personally could choose a charity for us to support, which charity would you choose and why?
I think there's lots of ones out there, but the one I suppose most recently that's apparent to me, I lost my mum to pancreatic cancer last year, so that would be one. When I remember my mum telling me when she was diagnosed, I was working on breast cancer at Crufts, and she phoned me to tell me, and the guys were like, do you want to stop, do you want to go home? And I was like, and do what? You know, I'm just going to sit at home and think about it. So I said, at least whilst I'm here, I'm doing something worthwhile. Yes, I'm talking about cancer, but at least I know I'm doing something to help other people. So yeah, I think that would be the one that I would choose. What
is your best memory, dig deep Ange, of working at Charity Link?
So I do talk about this a lot with new starters. So I think I was about 6 weeks in. I was working at a petrol station and I was getting really frustrated. I'd done nothing. And it was really close to where Emma lived, the regional trainer. So she came out to see me, we just sat down, we had a chat, she let me get everything off my chest and things that were bothering me, not necessarily work, and just whinging and moan like we all do. You just like to offload. I went back in the petrol station and did 10 in the afternoon. So I was like, wow.
Just what a difference.
You know, and so I always say to Emma, you know what, you really inspired me that day, and that's why as well why I want to be a regional trainer and move on to be able to do the same for other people. So that always sticks in my mind.
Oh, I can see why that would be there. What a result. So we've touched upon it a little bit, but what makes Charity Link different to other agencies? I mean, I know we have the infrastructure and the head office, but in terms of benefits, are there any benefits that you enjoy or?
So I have I've had massage treatment before, I've been to a spa, I've had my eyes glasses, so I get the money back from that, dentistry, and what else have I had? So I actually went to a show and I stayed in the hotel, and as I got out of the shower, I slipped and really hurt myself, and it was really bad, and I got 4 different treatments of physio through work that I didn't have to pay for as well. So,
oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's really good, the health benefits.
Chiropody.
Yes, exactly.
I need to get mine booked in. No, I think it's good, isn't it? Because there's £900 worth of claimable treatments. I mean, I just set a timer on my calendar to remind me to book it, because otherwise I just forget and months go past. But it's like, look, it's literally there. Just use it.
But it's not just physical things as well, they're there for your mental health too. So it's not always the things that you can see that people are struggling with. So there's a real big support for people who are suffering,
Yeah.
with different things, mental illness.
I think it's up to eight sessions, is it, of counselling?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Which is great.
So I was trained to be the mental health responder, not a first aider, so like the first point of call. So it's just giving you ideas and tips so you can see it in people and recognise it. And that's, I do make people aware that's what I am. Nobody's ever come up to me and approached me, but it just gives you that insight so you know to recognise things in people. You know when something's maybe bothering them, and you just say,
And I think we're really and probably driven by the passion of Hannah and the team in HR, just pushing at mental health awareness, and I feel like it's a really open conversation here that everybody is invited to share or to reach out for that help if needed. Which I do think separates us perhaps from other, because it's a sales job essentially, although it's not a traditional sales job. There's pressure there, and it can be easy to focus wholly on numbers, but with that mental health element, it's almost like, look, just check that you're okay first. Let's make sure you're in the best possible position to, and then we'll see the results. But let's not just focus completely on that. I like that element, because I don't see that perhaps in other agencies.
It's kind of safe environment as well, because your job's not in jeopardy just because you're saying I have problems with this. It's like, so it is this safe environment where you can talk about it and not have to worry about, am I going to keep my job? It's always a given. Your job is always going to be there, and how can we support you?
What advice would you give somebody thinking about a career in fundraising?
Definitely give it a go. I enjoyed it. It's like I've done different roles in my life, and I know now I've found what I want to do. So I don't anticipate looking for anything else. I've kind of like found my niche. You just get to talk. I like to talk, so can't shut me up sometimes. So to me, if you enjoy meeting new people, going to new places, it's a really good job. It's it can be a little bit challenging at sometimes, and a little bit tough, and you can have tough days, but I think the better days really outweigh the bad days as well. So.
Thank you, Ange. Absolutely awesome talking to you.